بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هنكمل كلام عن الفروض. قبل كده كنا اتكلمنا عن جزء introduction وتعريف الفروض، يعني ايه simple fruit, difference between true and false fruit and different classes of the true fruit. اتكلمنا يعني ايه schizocarpic fruit as a part of the true fruit. قلنا ان دي عبارة عن dry indehiscent fruit split on ripening into one-seeded parts, characteristic of fruits of family Umbellifera. We will talk about family Umbelliferous fruit. So the first member is fennel. This is fennel flower of inflorescence, dried fennel fruit, a diagram of the fennel. The fennel obtained from dried ripe fruits of Fenniculum vulgar family Umbellifera. It has sweet aromatic odor, sweet agreeable aromatic taste. The fruits exist as entire cylindrical chemocarbs attached to cylindrical pedicel or cylinder pedicel, sometimes separated into its two mericarps. The chemocarp, we said it is the entire fruit, entire schizocarpic fruit of the umbelliferous plants, and it is separated into two halves, each half known as mericarp. The entire chemocarp with characteristic primary ridge, more raised structure. Between two primaries there is secondary ridge, remaining of calyx and sepal, forming stylopod on the upper part and lower part bearing the pedicel or remaining of pedicel. It has slightly tapering structure or appearance toward both ends, upper and lower. This is dried or dried fennel fruit. Diagram or sector in fennel showing the two parts with 5 prominent primary ridge in each half, 4 secondary ridge less prominent. Under each primary ridge we have the bicollateral vascular bundle. Under each second ridge we have the schizogenous duct or vetta. In the center or the main of the fruit part occupied by seed, and we have 2 additional vittae on the commissural surface or surface of attachment of the two halves. Photograph of the fruit under microscope, seed, bicollateral vascular bundle, and vetta, 2 additional vittae on the commissural surface. This part showing epicarp of polygonal cells covered with smooth cuticle and bearing an homocytic stomata. On the primary region we have bicollateral vascular bundle of xylem capped from upper and lower sides by phloem. Below the xylem or the vascular bundle we have reticulated lignified parenchyma. So the epicarp is thick-walled, rectangular, polygonal in surface view, covered with smooth cuticle and showing few anomocytic stomata. This is the epicarp on the secondary region with vetta below. The mesocarp formed of thick-walled parenchyma traversed by 6 large vittae. We have 4 under 4 secondary ridge and 2 on the commissural surface, and 5 vascular bundle under primary ridge. As we said, each vascular bundle have 2 lateral phloem strands and an inner xylem accompanied by lower group of characteristic lignified reticulated parenchyma. This is the structure or appearance of parenchyma with reticulated lignified inside, appearing as pale red or rose color with fluorodecanol and hydrochloric acid. The innermost layer, or the endocarp, showing the parquetary structure or the presence of small daughter cells in different direction, giving typical parquetary appearance. Then start the structure of the seed with endosperm filled with aileron grain and oil droplets. And presence of the epidermal cells of the epicarp, polygonal, with anomocytic stomata, covered with smooth cuticle. Endocarp cells showing typical parquetary structure. The typical parquetary structure, each group of cells have different orientation from the surrounding groups. The fourth fragment is the fragment of vetta with yellowish brown color. Fragment of thick wall polygonal endosperm cells containing fixed oil globules and aileron grain, also containing macro-rosette crystal of calcium oxalate. Photographs from powder under microscope. Typical parquetary structure, the daughter cells or the small parallel cells in different orientation, giving the typical parquetary structure. Fragments of vetta with dark brown or yellowish brown color, and lignified reticulated parenchyma from the mesocarp below the vascular bundle layer. The main active constituents in phenyl is volatile oil containing anisole and phenol. Anisole responsible for the odor, while phenol responsible for the taste. Also containing flavonoids, camphorol, quercetin, isoquercetin, and rutin, in addition to proteins and fixed oil from the seed. Phenyl has different uses, used as carminative due to its content of volatile oil, mild expectorant and in mouth gargle and sore throat, spasmolytic, promoting function of liver, spleen, and kidney, used as flavoring agent, promoting breast milk secretion as a lactagogue, also have long history of weight reducing or weight control herb. Many preparation either as powder or extract in gelatin capsule or the bags of phenyl as herbal tea. Second umbelliferous fruit is anise, dried anise fruits, anise herb with flower, and diagram of the anise herb. Anise or Fructus anisi or aniseed أو ينسون, dried ripe fruits of Pimpinella, Anisum family, Umbellifera or family Apiaceae. The anise is official in the Egyptian pharmacopoeia under the name Fructus anisi, indigenous to Egypt, Turkey, Greece, and cultivated in Europe. The anise has strong aromatic characteristic, agreeable odor with a sweet aromatic taste. Dried anise fruit with pear-like or slight spherical shape, smaller in size than phenyl, grayish brown or slight yellowish brown in color. Surface is hairy, on the opposite to phenyl, where the surface is smooth. Also bearing remaining of stylopod, which is remaining of sepal and calyx, and attached to slender stalk or pedicel. 5 primary ridge on each half and 4 secondary ridge in between. Sector in the anise showing almost similar to phenyl. The main sector occupied by the seed, epicarp and endocarp, bicollateral vascular bundle, with the exception that within anise the epicarp covered with non-glandular unicellular hair, numerous hairs. Also presence of numerous vetti on the dorsal surface due to presence of branched vetta. By phenyl we have 4 vetti on the dorsal side and 2 on the commissural side. With anise, numerous or many vetti, as we have branched vetti, so this will increase number of viti on the dorsal side, but on the commissural we still have the 2 viti on each half. The outer side, from the under microscope, numerous viti due to branched viti, bicollateral vascular bundle, and non-glandular unicellular hair. This viti or branches of viti and the vascular bundle. Endosperm of the seed showing small straight embryo. For the microscopical character, the apicarp consists of polygonal cells as in fennel, but here it's covered with striated cuticle and bearing the conical thick-walled unicellular non-glandular hair with pointed apexes curved at the base, also bearing some anomocytic stomata. For the mesocarp, parenchyma traversed by numerous schizophrenic vita with brown epithelial cell and small vascular bundle below each primary ridge. The endocarp composed of narrow, tangentially elongated, thin-walled cells, giving non-typical parquetary structure. The typical parquetary structure was in fennel due to different orientation of each group of narrow, thin-walled cell or daughter cell. Here we have almost the same direction from the daughter cells, so we have non-typical parquetary structure. The seed having endosperm and filled with aileron grain, oil globules, and micro-rosette crystal of calcium oxalate. The epidermis of the seed, brown, polygonal brown cells with collapsed hyaline layer below. Powder of anise characterized by outer epidermal cells of the apicarp covered with striated cuticle and unicellular hair. This is apicarp with striated cuticle, anomocytic stomata, and unicellular non-glandular hair. The mesocarp with numerous viti or the presence of branched viti. Here below the endocarp layer with daughter cell parallel, small cells of the endosperm with oil globules and micro-rosette crystal of calcium oxalate. Here photograph of the branched viti, numerous or many viti near to each other as we have branched viti, and photograph of the non-glandular unicellular hair. The active constituents, volatile oil, as almost all umbelliferous fruit containing volatile oil. The main constituent of volatile oils is trans-anisole, up to 90%, which is responsible for the taste and odor. While in fennel, we have anisole and fenchone. Anisole responsible for odor and fenchone responsible for the taste. In addition to anisole, we have coumarin, fixed oil, flavonoids, and proteins. Test for the volatile oil, as we said, microscopical chemical test by addition of Sudan 3 to the powder or the fresh fruit. The oil cells or the oil droplets will acquire red color. There is a similar fruit to anise which is known as conium, have almost the same shape and color but with bad odor or almost odorless. Fennel can be differentiated from conium by addition of potassium hydroxide, where with anise no effect or still we have the agreeable odor, while if it is conium or mixed with conium, the odor of mice-like odor will appear. Activity or uses of anise as aromatic carminative due to volatile oil, expectorant with secretolytic activity or decreasing secretion activity, used in dry cough, so used in bronchitis and in case of persistent irritable cough and when whooping cough. Volatile oil used in pharmaceutical preparation as antiseptic and as flavoring agent, used for relieving colic in children as herbal tea, The volatile oil have marked estrogenic activity. The anise has sedative or relaxing effect. In folk medicine, used as lactagogue and immunagogue. The similar or allied or adulterants of anise, as we said, the conium or the hemlock fruit. This is a flower of conium. In anise, the flower or inflorescence was bright yellow in color. And the shape of the hemlock or conium fruits, almost similar to anise. So it is mixed by accident or adulterating anise fruits. Hemlock is obtained from dried ripe fruits of conium, maculatum family, Umbellifera or family Apiaceae. We can differentiate between hemlock or conium and anise by addition of sodium hydroxide if mice-like odor develop or appear, so this is hemlock. If no odor of mice or still we have the aromatic odor, this is anise. Conium is similar to anise as we said, but it is smaller in size. The taste and odor are absent. The ridges are crenate and usually separated into its two mericarps. Histologically characterized by presence of grooved endosperm in comparison to anise. Still we have more prominent primary ridge or crenate primary ridge with vascular bundle below, and the mesocarp in the innermost layer of mesocarp showing U-shaped thickening and containing coniine alkaloid. It is the innermost layer of mesocarp containing the coniine alkaloid, or known as the coniine layer. On rubbing the fruits with sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, developing a strong mice-like odor due to liberation of coniine alkaloid. The active constituent containing alkaloids, coniine, and other related alkaloids. Primary or general chemical test for alkaloid is with Mayer, extracting with acidulated water or alcohol to the filter to the filtered, add few drops of Mayer reagent, white turbidity or yellowish white precipitate, indicating the presence of alkaloid. The action of conium: it has analgesic and as antispasmodic and emetic due to alkaloid, in very small doses used to treat different cases including tumors, epilepsy, whooping cough, as it is muscle relaxant, and also used as antidote for strychnine poisoning, as it is CNS depressant activity. Used externally to treatment of malignant tumors, especially breast cancer, and in treatment of fissures and hemorrhoids. It is contraindicated in pregnancy. The side effect is congenital abnormality. Toxicity characterized by sore throat, diarrhea, vertigo, muscular weakness, weak pulse, paralysis of breathing. Medical treatment by gastric lavage, artificial respiration, and emetic preparation. An allied drug of anise or another fruit have the similar name as anise is the star anise. Shape of the star anise: star as it has star-like shape. Anise, it has the same characteristic odor of anise. It is non-umbelliferous fruit obtained from Elysium, dried ripe fruits of Elysium, Verum family Magnoliaceae. It is indigenous to China, cultivated in Florida. Sometimes it is called Chinese star anise. It has similar odor to anise. Active constituent is mainly volatile oil with anethole. That's why it is similar in odor. Used as carminative, analgesic, antiseptic, and antirheumatic as antiseptic and antirheumatic as topical application. Also used as expectorant, lactagogue, diuretic, and stomachic. Also used in cough. medicines and cough drops due to its expectoral activity of contained senol. It increases the liquid secretion from mucous membrane, facilitating productive cough and facilitating expectoration. Also, star anise was rich in shikimic acid, which have activity against influenza virus, which showed positive or promising activity against swine flu. Derivative or semi-synthetic derivative of shikimic acid is the sultamivir, which is the base of the Tamiflu drug used in treatment of swine flu.